we're going to discuss about object orientation. So we're done with looping Suda. We're also finished with conditional statements. So now object orientation. So as you notice, C Sharp is a object-oriented programming software language similar to Visual Basic, C++, Java. They're all can support objects. So So in the completion of this topic, you all will be understand the structure of an object orientation, create and make use of objects and classes, employ encapsulation for data protection. So object orientation involves breaking a problem down into separate components in a way that is contradictory to how we would approach such things in our mind. So despite this, object orientation is a powerful programming paradigm and tools it provides can lead to the development of richer and more elegant programming solutions that is possible with other earlier development frameworks. So, in contrast with procedural programming, so in a procedural programming, we write procedures or methods that perform operation on the data on a single main class, while object-oriented programming is about creating objects that contains both data and methods. We will also discuss how to create functions and methods in using classes. So in object-oriented programming, OOP is faster and easy to execute because we separate procedures and method into classes. OOP also provides a clear structure for the programs. OOP helps to create the C# code dry, don't repeat yourself, and makes the code easier to maintain, modify, and debug. OOP makes it possible to create full reusable applications with less code and shorter development time. Okay, so now let's talk about classes and objects. So classes and objects are the two main aspects of any object-oriented programming. So let's imagine we have a class named fruit. So basically, class will serve as the template to order or to create objects. Like for instance, a class named fruit, a fruit can have several objects or instance. Like types of fruit are apple, banana, oranges. Like for instance, you have a like imagine object as the application form, the original application form. You can photocopy application form, right? So the photocopy versions of the original application form serves as the instance or objects of the application form. So if an application form contains name, address, email, phone number, all the instances or all the objects created after the application form will also inherit those contents like the name, email, phone, and address because it's basically a mirror of the object. Okay, so another example is car. We create a class named car. If we create an object of the class car, so example, Audi is a car, Toyota is a car, BMW is a car, Suzuki is also a car. So a class is a template for objects, and an object is an instance of a class. When the individual objects are created, they will all inherit the variables and method from the class. Okay, everything in C# is associated with classes and objects, along with its attributes and methods. For example, in real life, a car is an object. The car has attributes such as the weight and the color of the car, and methods such as drive and brake. So we will demonstrate it later, but for practical reasons, we create, okay? So have you created so the OOP po niya, no? Project?
Okay, Ida.
Okay, so when you create a C# punya visual project, so you will be given form 1, but we don't have class yet. So I want you to create a class name person. So in order to do that, sanang sadya, I want you to right click on the project name and then add class. Right click, add class. Name this class person, capital P. Sudah? Kamel?
Okay, sir.
Asmira, please create that one. Okay,
Oh,
I'm gonna pause the video until you guys are done recording. Okay, so to create a class, right click on the project name, add class, and name the class person. .cs, or you don't have to put the .cs, automatically it will. Okay, so once you created the class, we will examine the class po niya content. So, kamu po niya, it's empty by default, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is now a class name. The class name is person. So first thing we have to do is to add attributes. Let me separate it dulu. Okay. So we're going to create an attributes of the class person. Like for instance, a person contains name, age, and email. So please do this. I'm gonna pause lagi. Supaya so getters, sorry, not getters, setters. Setters, nanti, when we create an object of the class person, we're gonna set the value of the attributes using setters. So like, we will create a method to set the name. Okay, so we will pass a parameter here. We will discuss this karang. So this is for setting the name. Now we have to set the age and set the email. So the parameter here should match the variable sini. If it's integer, should be integer underscore name. If it's string, string underscore name. Sorry, let's make it sama saja. Okay. So now, next thing we have to set is set for age, public, void, set age. So we have to create the method in public so that we can access it outside the class. Oh, sorry, bukan string. int age and age equals to underscore age. Then we have public void. We will discuss why is it void because we're not returning any value. String underscore email. So here email equals to underscore email. So whatever parameter we passed here will be now the value of our attribute name. Whatever we pass here will be now the attribute of the value of attribute age, email, value of the email. So you notice I put underscore since they are different variables. Don't get confused with the underscore. It's just a variable name. I just want to set a difference between underscore name and a variable name. Okay? Sudah?
sudah.
Kamel?
Okay, sir.
Okay, I will, since we're still open here, now next thing we have to do is what we call the getters. Getters means we're going to get the value of all the attributes after setting its value. So here it's gonna be different. Public, the return value for name, since it's string, so public string, get underscore name. We don't have any parameters anymore because we're not gonna change the value, we're just gonna get it. So since here, take a look here, void, we have void, meaning void, we're not gonna return any value. Sini, string, we're gonna return a value of string type. That's why you notice, if I hover here, we have an error because we don't return a value. So what are we gonna return in the get name is the variable name. So here we're gonna type return name. So we're gonna do the same thing for age and email. Since age is an integer, your return type should be integer. So public int get age, we're gonna return age, and lastly public string get email, then we're gonna return email. So all methods with a return which is not void should always have a return type, or else it will produce an error. Okay, I'm gonna pause the video. Let me know if you guys are done, Suda. So this is how you create classes, huh? Ay, manakan to Visual Studio, okay. So we create a class, this one, person. We set the attributes of a person, like a person's name, person's age, person's email. Then we create setters. Setters, the purpose of setter is to set the value of the attributes. Getters are to return or get the values of the attribute. In the next video, after this, we're going to create objects of the class person. So while you're on a break, please design this. Take a picture, please. Sudah?
Yeah.
Print screen. Okay, design this while we're on the break. We're going to resume at 10:42. I know we have class. Sampay 10:45 sadya.